Otherwise, counterplay against Ghoki is pretty thin. And the main thing we want to account for is probably Spark. Now, Spark is a solid option, but we have air mobility options ourselves that will allow us to get around it and hopefully bait it out. I'll show you my preferred one, which was shown to me by Dream from the Tanks Discord quite a long time ago at this point, I guess. But it's just to jump in and then normal jump up so that I dodge the radius. And this makes everything look as similar as possible to the normal mix while also getting me out of range. And you can see that I got an actual punish with my L Ghost there. The dummy is set to guard all don't switch and was punished by the Ghost during the recovery of the Spark. It's a real luxury that we have this puppet super that lets us do that, right? As far as set play goes, it's pretty rare to be able to actually punish Spark that effectively, I think. But it is tight to do it. You need to lab it because if you release L Ghost too early, then the Spark cinematic is going to eat your input. Nothing will happen. No Ghost will come out. If you do it too late, they can block, obviously. So it's worth practicing, though, because getting a punish there is just really, really satisfying. Otherwise, I see people a lot do jump in backdash 6S, and this is a fine option as well. 6S, it's good for getting an extra projectile on the screen. If you guess wrong and your opponent does not Spark, you're still holding L, so you can release L at any time. And note, of course, that if you tap M during 6S, you will not whiff a normal, so the M Ghost that's sitting in the back also is there ready to be deployed as part of the setup. So that's really cool. You could probably even, release your Ghosts and get some kind of thing if you're high enough, right? Air dash, even get some kind of like weird mix out of it. But one way or another, as with most things, Ghoki, this is best done improvised, I would say. It's unfortunate that we do have to guess here. There's no kind of fail-safe option, but we do get continued pressure if our opponent does nothing, probably, and it's nice that we get either pressure or even a punish against Spark itself. Otherwise, trading a bar for an opponent's Spark is, especially since we're not necessarily at a disadvantage after, is pretty good rate from our perspective, so that's great. Otherwise, when it comes to frame 1 stuff, there's nothing, really. There's just nothing we have to worry about. Some people may be thinking about Cooler Super. I'll talk about that in a second, but it's just not a thing. But we really don't have to worry about, reversal level 1s. I'll show you just a generic level 3 here, just partly to illustrate a point about the Ghoki nerf, which is that, first of all, I'm flying through the air. No reversal is going to hit me here. But notice how far away I am, right? So I had to beam to convert this into a punish. Whereas it used to be that I would be close enough, probably against this super at least, to 5M punish and get a real corner combo. And this is because the startup is now longer on Ghoki than it used to be, so we're farther away relative to the startup of their super. If they delay tech, then it's a different story. You get the old spacing because obviously the startup nerfs don't matter if you've recovered fully and they delay tech. So you would, if I did what I just did against delay tech, maybe be like here when they super, you'd be able to 5M or even closer. Sometimes, in fact, with Tohan's super, you can actually, against delay tech, or in the old version too, you would be so close to the corner, you could just normal jump up and dodge the thing entirely and get a full punish like that. It was really cool. But otherwise, we just don't have to worry about frame 1s. Frame 1 DPs, generally, they're not invul enough to worry us. So Tohan's frame 1 DP just does nothing. It like runs into some ghosts because I forget how active it is. Maybe the invul is like 10, maybe it's 15 frames. It's not that long, so it's just irrelevant, right? If you're dealing with somebody like Super Baby who has that guard point, reversal, obviously with all of these frame 1 options, we are doing 3 ghosts in a row. So if they want to act, they have to act before the first ghost if we're doing the normal setup. So we are very far from hitting any buttons into anything and exposing ourselves to getting hit or to guard point or whatever. So the only super that's worth talking about really in specific detail is coolers, and as YouTube commentator and GoTanks player Illa recently pointed out, the super is, at least to my knowledge, unique in being a reversal that counters other supers. So that's kind of cool, but as he also pointed out, it converts into a grab when you trigger it, and we're in the air, so we can backdash for frame 1 grab invul and actually get a punish. Now, the only clarification I'd offer as far as this super goes is that we do not need to deal with this as a guess or as a read. In fact, we have a very long time to react to what's happening. And that's because we can just let him side switch, and then we can backdash against the corner and punish. So watch how late my punish is here. And then from here, right, I can knock down into an assist and continue, or I get a really cool punish. It's in the dock. If I do backdash into 214H, I can actually go over the ghosts, and then I can get a solo rejump that goes corner to corner using, it's not really a rejump, but it uses grounded 214M beam SD, right, to go corner to corner. You can consult the dock for that. But Cooler's level 3, again, you could see how long I had to react to what he was doing. The only real caveat is that if your Ghoki timing is a little off, he can be slightly lower, and he can actually make contact with a ghost, so you have to be cognizant of when your smash is missing. That's not gonna matter necessarily because, again, your assists will have always regenerated by the time you need them, and you can just do sort of whatever, like 214S beam, knockdown into assist, rejump, beam SD into another assist, something like this, right, to end the combo. But note that you don't always have smash there. Otherwise, that's all I have to say about Spark and Frame 1s. I will talk about other forms of Ghoki in the next section.